Okay, so we're at the user-defined controls.
Yes.
Okay, so let me show you that again. It's in that cog, user-defined controls. There's these
Themes.
buttons now, right?
Okay.
Because these are the keys. So I have knobs, user-defined knobs here. I have keys here. So on these keys, if I touch A, here's my settings. So I can, here's the function. No assign, auto mixer. What's an auto mixer?
Ooh.
If you're doing a play and you got like 5 or 6 headsets going, or lapel mics, don't use lapel mics.
Satan mics.
They're satanic.
Satan uses
Okay.
lapel
Yeah,
But
they're bad.
if you go to auto mixer, what it does is allow you to take so many channels, and when you have 6 actors on stage, and they're all using lapel mics or over-the-ear mics, it amplifies the one who's speaking and quiets the other 5. And then if 2 are speaking, you can hear both of them and it quiets the other 4.
Oh.
And it just,
However you want.
Kind of
It-
automatically.
it automatically mixes
Wow,
the
that's
2 and keeps the level
I'm just
very
gonna
even.
leave it
It's
on that from
fabulous.
now on.
It's fabulous.
I'm just going to do that for everything. from now
Yeah, it
on.
doesn't work on music.
Oh, that's too
It doesn't work on music. It only works on voice.
Okay.
But read up on that.
Okay. I will.
Okay. Brightness, channel on, channel select, cue, effect, EQ, help, meter, monitor, mute master. That's where you can put a mute master.
Oh.
A, you can assign things to A or B or C or whatever, and
gotcha.
get your mutes in there. Oscillator. So if I push that, I can have pink noise on one button just for testing my system. You don't need it.
No.
Okay. Then you have, page change recorder. Okay. So if I do the recorder, which is this, okay, transport, play, pause. Well, I can come over here and I can do record, auto record, record and start.
What is and start?
Record and start means that this will not be moving, won't be recording anything, okay? If I hit record and start, it starts that and automatically immediately goes to record.
What do you mean start? What do you mean by start?
Well, on most recorders, you have a record button, and if you push the record button, it flashes red, meaning
you
it's
get, like-
record ready.
Right,
And then
until
you
hit
push the play button,
yeah.
and it starts.
But if you got it hooked just to a hard drive, all you want is record, right?
Record. If you're going to go to an outboard hard drive, you can do record.
Okay.
But if you're going to record out of this, to a USB key, or I use a USB drive.
Yeah. Well, this is what I would use right here.
Yeah.
This is
so-
an SSD drive.
Yeah,
Hooked
yeah.
to a
So if
cable.
you do that out of here,
Yeah.
you want record and start because you don't want to go to record ready and that kind of thing on that.
Okay.
You want to basically say, hey, when I push this button, start recording.
Right.
And it will do that, okay? So you have that choice, and then on one of the other buttons, so on that button, I might assign that to A and say, okay, that's now A. Now you notice the light went off because I'm not using it. There's
Okay.
nothing plugged in here, okay?
Right.
So now I want to go to B. So if I go to B, and I can still go to recorder, but now I can have stop. Okay, so I'm recording, now the serve is done, I push stop. Okay, so for that, I come over here, I go to stop, I say okay, and now that's B.
Oh, sweet.
So basically, I've got 6 of those buttons that I can assign for various
Wow.
things. Now, some people do direct recall. If you're doing a show, you use those for recalls on scenes or scene changes. So you do scene setups on those.
now,
So you
if
can go from scene to scene to scene.
if
Right.
will this record on a USB stick?
Yeah.
The 3.01.
a very good USB stick.
Yeah, well, I need to try mine and see.
And I recommend either a Lexar or a Kingston.
Yeah, I think I have a Kingston is what I use. I use this,
Yeah, that's a Kingston. That's what I got, just like that. And that works pretty well, but the problem with USB sticks is they're a little slow. They don't always, what happens is they have to buffer. So they'll go so far, and record, and you say, hey, the record works fine on this, and then all of a sudden it stops and misses 6 words. And then it picks up again and keeps recording, okay? If you do a USB drive, those spin at a faster rate.
well, this is a SSD.
Yeah,
It didn't even spin.
if you do an SSD or a spinning drive.
Yeah.
I use a USB drive. So it spins at 7,200 RPM, I don't have any problem with it missing any words on the USB drive, okay? SSD, you're not gonna have any problem with it missing anything. So those type of things work really well. But you're not gonna get the same thing out of just a USB stick unless you buy a really good one that is a fast USB, So then you have knobs, and you can change, okay, input gain, input EQ and knob, one knob, gain, gate, and compressor. Well,
So you just select the channel and then start spinning those
Yeah,
and they work, huh?
that's right.
Okay.
If I go to compressor here on this one channel, I'm on this channel. But if that was closed and I went to compressor, right now it's on gate. Here are compressor settings. Okay, there's my compressor's threshold. It's not the whole compressor, it's just the threshold. So I never use these
Yeah.
because I'd rather look at the actual compressor.
Do you set yours up for something, or what do you set them up for?
My knobs?
Yeah.
I-
Do you use them at all?
No.
Okay. So
I
you don't
don't-
use them as any other presets?
Well, it's okay as a gain.
Okay.
I don't mind the gain, but for the compressor or the gate or the EQ, to me, it's a waste of time on those. But see if there's something you like that you say, hey, I can put that to use, go ahead, set it up. It's real easy to do. You saw how it's done. So I have my choice of keys or knobs on them.
Let's save that the way it is then.
What I just did?
Yeah, because we just
Okay.
changed things a
All
little.
right, I have that muted. Change, store. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
So how do you save to this then, if you want to keep this stuff safe so we can?
that would
Never lose it?
That would be on this thing, and you would do. Let's see, how to
Load and save?
Load and save.
Yeah.
Okay. So you hit the load and save button, and it comes up, and you say, well, what do I want to save?
Save
And
as.
So I do a save as, and I come down, and I would put CCR basic,
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
and then or whatever you want to call that USB key.
Yeah.
Because it will save every scene. It won't save individual scenes. It saves all of the things on the board setup. So all your routing and everything are saved.
That's good.
All your libraries are saved. Everything is saved. The reason those are great is you do a firmware upgrade
It doesn't work
and you
out.
screw it up,
Yeah.
you just reload.
Backup.
You do always do this as a save before you do a firmware upgrade.
Okay.
Because you want the latest, greatest, everything you have there, just, title it and just do whatever. And there you go. So now you see it's writing the entire board. And obviously if you've got 72 scenes, that
Right.
writes more slowly.
Right.
But
Perfecto.
that's how you save.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the effects for a second. Okay. So what you have,
Yeah. We never even
and
messed
on
with
the
those.
custom layer, well,
Got a pretty good sound
it-
set up without even.
it's really cool on this. Let's see. I should go back to scene one and use this microphone. check 1, 2. Okay, so if I go to effects 1, I got these buttons on the side. These are my quick operate buttons that basically do sends on fader for everything. So if I have, what do I have on number 1? Well, let's look at number 1. Oh, I've got a Hall reverb, okay? Reverb Hall on number 1. So if I take number 1 and I come down here and I put effects 1, now all these faders feed that effect.
So it's asking
So
you.
if I bring this up, all of a sudden you'll start to get my send. I don't have the return set up and that kind of stuff, but this will send to that reverb, and then that will come back through my return, okay? Send to effects 1, okay? Now, if I go back to, well, let's take it out of edit for a minute, okay? Check. If I go to that and then go to my, let's see, which one is it?
These two.
These two. Okay.
No?
Nope. Well,
You
I
didn't hit
didn't
it.
get those.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so here's my reverb, check 1, 2, and here's my, I have it on send.
Oh.
So it won't send to itself because it feeds back and makes a
Okay.
loop.
Oh, that was smart.
Let's come out of that and let's go
You just want one.
effects returns.
Oh, wow.
Send to, oh, I'm still on this. I'm not on the master. So let's come off of that and go back to master for just a minute. Okay, there's 1, there's 2. Oh, output. So if I go to output, those are my aux feeds. 2, 1, 1 and 2. Where did they put the effects returns? Oh, they probably have a single fader, which they do on the last thing, which is this. Oh, it's not turned on.
That would help.
Turn it on, Steve. Okay, so let me go back to effects 1 for a minute.
That's 2, isn't it?
And let's go back to number 1, pull that down for a second, come off of this, go back to the master group, turn these on. Those probably should stay on, by the way.
Okay.
And then you go to effects, well, let's go to group 1, effects 1, check 1,
That's 2.
Oh, thank you. You need to just come with me everywhere.
I'd be happy to help
Check
you.
1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Okay,
It's got some
so I'm getting the reverb. If I go to this, it's my delay. So if I go to number 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. That's my delay. Now, when am I ever going to use a delay? Well, if I have a vocalist who is actually singing, your wife,
Right.
what I can do is I can bring up some
Kind of creates
reverb
an
on
echo.
her, just a little bit of reverb, right? Create just that touch of reverb, and then bring up just a little delay, lightly. It widens the voice and makes it a little deeper without doing a whole lot to it. And I can shorten the delay time, I can change the style of reverb. So let's come back off of this for a minute, come back, well, let's leave that reverb and let's go to edit, okay? So I've got the reverb
plate.
there, the plate. The decay time is too long, right? The initial delay is 112 milliseconds. It's too long. So let's shorten the initial delay down to make it a smaller room, okay? So if I take this now and I bring that down, now I have a smaller room. And I don't have all that ringiness. So now this reverb becomes more usable. But if I want a different style of reverb, I just touch that reverb symbol and up pops all of my different things that I have available to me, okay? Mid-band compressor. The multi-band compressor. These are really nice because if you got somebody who's, like I have one singer who in her soft voice has a gorgeous voice. And when she gets loud, it's like taking a drill and drilling a hole in your forehead. And what I do is I use the multi-band compressor and I find the band that she just does that drill on. and I set it so the threshold doesn't kick in until she starts to drill. And when she starts to drill, it just lowers that part of the band. It's a great thing.
Huh.
But on the reverbs here, okay, here's a room reverb. So if I change this to a room reverb, I now have a pretty tight
That's good.
room. If I change this to a stage reverb, check, it's a different sound. Now,
pretty
you
good.
find the reverb that you like best for the voice that you're working on, whatever, but that's how you do it, okay? I use a lot of plate reverb because I can control different factors. Now there's only a 10 millisecond delay. If I do too long a delay, it's weird, okay? So I want a fairly tight delay time on the plate. And the plate may be a